The Golden State Warriors' season could be in serious jeopardy. With high hopes of avoiding the play-in tournament, the team now finds itself in a battle to hold onto the 6th seed in the Western Conference. The recent absence of Steph Curry, due to an injury, has been one of the most significant blows to their campaign. The Warriors, a team once known for its incredible offensive firepower and championship pedigree, have been struggling to find their rhythm without their star player. They have been underperforming, failing to execute at the level that is expected of them. And now, with just a few weeks left in the season, they are desperately trying to secure a playoff spot. One of the most frustrating aspects of this current stretch has been their loss to the Miami Heat, a game that highlighted several of the team's ongoing issues. In that game, the Warriors' defense looked disjointed, and their offense was unable to find its usual fluidity. The Heat, led by their veteran core, took advantage of these lapses, shooting incredibly well from beyond the arc. Miami managed to sink an astounding 17 of their 25 three-point attempts, hitting 68% of their shots from deep. For the Warriors, this was a glaring weakness that has been exposed repeatedly this season. Their defense, once considered one of the best in the league, allowed wide-open looks, and the Heat took full advantage. The most concerning part of this game was the Warriors' inability to respond to Miami's shooting onslaught. It wasn't just a matter of the Heat having an exceptional shooting night. It was the fact that Golden State allowed it to happen. The Warriors' defense was too easily manipulated, especially on pick-and-roll plays, where Miami's ball handlers were able to make quick passes to open teammates. Every time the defense collapsed, Miami's players were able to swing the ball to open shooters, resulting in easy three-pointers. This lack of defensive discipline was troubling. It was clear that the team wasn't playing with the same level of intensity or attention to detail that has made them so successful in the past. On the other end of the floor, the Warriors' offense wasn't much better. They struggled to create good looks, especially from three-point range. The team shot just 9 for 38 from beyond the arc, a miserable 24% success rate. Their offense was stagnant, with too many possessions ending in contested shots or turnovers. It was painfully clear that the absence of Curry was being felt, as the Warriors couldn't seem to find a rhythm without their primary ball handler and playmaker. The ball movement was slow and ineffective, and the spacing on the floor was poor. No one seemed able to break down the defense, and the usual free-flowing offense was nowhere to be found. This was particularly evident in the first half, when the team started the game with an abysmal 0 for 14 from three-point range. While the Warriors' struggles were most evident in the Miami game, this has been a trend throughout their recent games. Over the last 10 matchups, they have won only one, and it's becoming increasingly clear that they are not playing with the same urgency that they did earlier in the season. Some of this can be attributed to the absence of Curry, but there are other factors at play as well. The team's defense has been inconsistent, and their offense has been even more erratic. The once high-flying, fast-paced attack that the Warriors were known for now looks disjointed and out of sync. This is not the same team that dominated the league for the last few seasons, and their recent performances have raised serious concerns about their ability to compete in the playoffs. What's even more troubling is the fact that the Warriors are still in a battle for the 6th seed, but their schedule doesn't offer much relief. With just 10 games remaining in the regular season, they are in a fight to maintain their position. Right now, the Warriors are only half a game ahead of the 7th-place team, and the competition is fierce. They're not only fighting to stay in the top 6, but they are also competing for higher seeds, with just 2.5 games separating them from the 5th seed. The Warriors have the second easiest remaining schedule in terms of their opponents' win percentages, but that doesn't mean the games will be easy. They still have several difficult matchups against teams fighting for playoff spots, and each of these games will be crucial if they want to avoid the dreaded play-in tournament. In addition to their struggles on the floor, there are growing concerns about the performances of some of their key players. One player, in particular, has been underperforming recently, and his lack of impact has been glaring. Despite the team's struggles, this player's inefficiency has stood out. He finished the game against Miami with a -19 plus-minus, which is an incredibly poor stat for a player who is supposed to be a key contributor. This performance was not an anomaly, either. Over the last few games, this player has consistently struggled, shooting poorly, and failing to make an impact on both ends of the floor. For a team with championship aspirations, this lack of contribution from a key player is unacceptable. What's even more troubling is the fact that this player is expected to step up in the absence of Curry. The Warriors are paying him a significant amount of money, and yet, when the team needs him most, he has been nowhere to be found. It's hard to ignore the fact that, despite all the talk of this player's potential, he has not been able to deliver when the team needs him. It's one thing to struggle in a few games, but it's another to consistently fail to perform when the stakes are this high. There is also concern surrounding another player, a young talent who is expected to make a bigger impact this season. This player, who had shown promise early in the year, has also been struggling as of late. He has had a difficult time finding a shot, and his offensive contributions have been minimal. While he has been solid defensively, his struggles on offense have been a major setback for the team. The Warriors need him to step up and provide scoring, but so far, he has not been able to consistently deliver. His shooting numbers have been disappointing, and it's becoming clear that without Curry, the Warriors need all of their players to contribute offensively. In many ways, the Warriors' situation right now is a reflection of their struggles all season long. They have the talent to compete, but they have been unable to put it together consistently. With Curry sidelined, their offense has been lackluster, and their defense has been porous. They are a team in need of a spark, and that spark will only come if their key players can step up and perform at a high level. The Warriors are at a crossroads in their season, and with only a handful of games left, they need to find a way to turn things around if they want to make a serious playoff push. It's not just about securing a playoff spot. It's about reclaiming the identity that made them one of the most dominant teams in the league over the past few years. If they can't do that, their season could be over sooner than expected. The Warriors' current situation is dire, and it's clear that their future in the postseason depends on how they respond to the challenges they face in the coming weeks. With just 10 games left, every single one of those matchups could determine whether they continue their season or fall into the play-in tournament. The team has a few favorable games left, but the stretch ahead is filled with tough opponents who won't make things easy. Golden State's ability to secure victories against the weaker teams on their schedule is crucial, but they'll also need to rise to the occasion when they face higher-ranked competition. The Warriors are no longer the powerhouse they once were, and the absence of Steph Curry has exposed some of their fundamental flaws that have remained hidden for most of the season. One of the biggest issues facing the Warriors is their inability to capitalize on the opportunities that are available to them. In their recent loss to Miami, the Warriors allowed the Heat to dominate from beyond the arc, and that's a trend that has continued throughout the season. While Curry's absence certainly plays a role in the team's struggles, it's not the sole factor. The defense has been inconsistent, and the offense has been stagnant, especially when it comes to three-point shooting. The Warriors have always been known for their perimeter shooting, but this season, they've been plagued by poor shooting nights, and it's been a major issue. Their percentage from three-point range has dropped significantly in recent games, and that's something that they can't afford to ignore if they hope to make a deep playoff run. The team's shooting woes have been particularly evident in their last few games, where they've alternated between impressive shooting performances and dismal ones. In their game against the Heat, the Warriors shot just 9 for 38 from three-point range, a miserable 24% success rate. That kind of performance isn't going to get the job done against playoff-caliber teams. The Warriors need to get back to their roots, moving the ball, spacing the floor, and hitting open shots. But they also need to improve their defense. The team has allowed far too many open looks, and that's been a recurring issue this season. In the game against the Heat, they gave up 17 made three-pointers, allowing the Heat to shoot a staggering 68% from deep. That kind of defensive lapse is unacceptable for a team with championship aspirations. Another glaring issue for the Warriors is their lack of offensive flow. Without Curry on the floor, the team has struggled to create easy looks and generate consistent scoring. The ball movement has been slow and predictable, and too often, the team has relied on individual plays rather than working together to create open shots. This is a direct result of Curry's absence, as he's the one who typically keeps the offense flowing with his ability to pass, shoot, and drive. But even with Curry in the lineup, the Warriors have not been able to recapture the offensive rhythm that made them so dangerous in previous seasons. Their offense has been too reliant on isolation plays, and that's a problem they need to address before the playoffs. What's even more concerning is that the Warriors' lack of offensive production isn't just about missing shots. It's about the lack of aggression from key players. In their recent games, there have been instances where players have failed to step up when the team needed them most. One player, in particular, has been underperforming, and it's become a major point of contention for the team and its fans. This player has consistently failed to make an impact on the floor, and his lack of aggression in key moments has been frustrating to watch. He finished the game against Miami with a -19 plus-minus, a stat that tells you all you need to know about his performance. It wasn't just the fact that he shot poorly. It was that he failed to make any significant contribution when the team needed him. This player is supposed to be a key part of the Warriors' offensive attack, but he's been nowhere to be found in recent games. He has struggled to score, and when he has been on the floor, he has not provided the kind of leadership that the team desperately needs. This lack of leadership is not just about one player. The Warriors as a whole have lacked the killer instinct that has defined their success in the past. They have been slow to react to adversity, and when things start to slip away, they haven't been able to turn the tide. In a critical game against the Heat, the team failed to adjust to the shooting onslaught from Miami, and that's been a microcosm of their season. There have been too many games where the Warriors have let opportunities slip through their fingers, and they've failed to execute when it matters most. The team has the talent to be a championship contender, but they have not been able to put it together consistently. The lack of urgency is concerning, and it's something they need to address before it's too late. As the Warriors head into the final stretch of the season, they need to make some serious adjustments if they want to make a legitimate playoff run. The team needs to find a way to execute their offense more efficiently, particularly in the absence of Curry. That means getting back to the basics, spacing the floor, moving the ball, and making the most of open shot opportunities. But they also need to improve their defense. The Warriors' defense has been too porous this season, and that's something they need to shore up if they want to have a chance in the postseason. The team's defensive struggles have been especially apparent in recent games, and they've given up too many open shots. If they want to avoid the play-in tournament and secure a solid playoff spot, they need to tighten up on defense and stop allowing easy baskets. The road ahead is not going to be easy. The Warriors have a tough schedule to finish out the season, and they'll need to win a majority of their remaining games to secure a playoff spot. With games against Memphis, Los Angeles, and Denver coming up, the Warriors are going to have to bring their best effort every time they step on the floor. But they also have to take care of business against the lower-tier teams they face in the next few games. The Warriors are capable of competing at a high level, but they need to play with more urgency and focus. If they don't, they could find themselves out of the playoffs entirely, and that's a scenario they can't afford to entertain. It's time for the Warriors to show what they're made of and prove that they are still a championship-caliber team. Only time will tell if they can make the necessary adjustments and finish the season strong. But with Curry expected to return soon, the team's chances for a deep playoff run are still alive, if they can figure things out in time. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In an unprecedented move, the NBA has officially confirmed the cancellation of last night's matchup between the Golden State Warriors and the Miami Heat, a game in which the Warriors suffered a crushing 112-86 defeat. The shocking announcement, made earlier today, has sent waves through the basketball world, leaving fans, analysts, and even players scrambling for answers. Why would the league wipe a completed game from the books, especially one that ended in such a decisive manner? Speculation is already running wild, with theories ranging from officiating controversies to potential violations of league protocols. Some insiders suggest that the game may have been plagued by an unforeseen technical error or an administrative mishap that forced the NBA to take drastic action. However, neither the league nor the teams have provided a detailed explanation, fueling further intrigue and frustration among basketball enthusiasts. For the Golden State Warriors, this unexpected cancellation might come as a bittersweet relief. The team struggled mightily throughout the contest, shooting a dismal percentage from the field and failing to contain Miami's offensive firepower. Stephen Curry and his teammates appeared visibly frustrated as the Heat dominated from start to finish. Now, with the game erased from official records, the Warriors are granted a rare second chance. But at what cost? Meanwhile, the Miami Heat find themselves in an unusual and frustrating position. Their dominant performance, which showcased exceptional play on both ends of the court, has now been rendered meaningless. Fans of the team are outraged, demanding clarity from the NBA on why their well-earned victory has been erased. Head coach Erik Spoelstra and key players have yet to comment, but sources indicate a strong sense of disappointment within the organization. As the league remains tight-lipped about the decision, the basketball world is left with more questions than answers. Was this a simple clerical mistake, or is there a larger controversy brewing behind the scenes? Until the NBA breaks its silence, fans and analysts can only speculate about one of the strangest developments in recent league history. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.